Hello, everyone. Welcome aboard the DL Weekly podcast. Please lower your head and watch your step while boarding. If this is your first time listening, we hope you'll check out our website at DLWeekly.net. If you have more time to spend, becoming an official weekly tier at DLWeekly.net/support is an especially good value. Thanks for traveling with us today, and we hope you have a happy and memorable listen to this week's episode.
Well, hello everyone. We are coming to you from Town Square. We're sitting in front of the Main Street train station looking out onto a bustling Main Street. There's all sorts of activity going on. The flag retreat just finished up, and we are just kind of sitting here thinking back on all of the amazing and wonderful things that we've been able to do and experience these past few days.
Yeah, what a trip. Yeah, it's been warm during the, hello train. It's been warm during the day and like a little bit cooler at night. It's finally starting to cool down. As we were recording this, it's about, my watch says it's about 75. We're sitting in the shade. It's pretty nice, like Teresa said. But I think what we're going to start talking about, because we've done so much and we're going to kind of trickle it out over the next couple weeks for you guys. So don't think that everything we've done is going to be this one episode or even just next episode. We got a lot of stuff we're going to talk about. But this time we're going to start talking about the 70th, stuff that's specific to the 70th that we've done or experienced or partaken in so far this trip.
Yeah, so it's been kind of a whirlwind, and we've been trying to keep the 70th stuff, like, it's hard to not just like dive right into all of it and just do all of it and just, I don't want to say get it out of the way, but like just focus on only that. So we've been trying to kind of spread out over a couple of days. A great example of that is Tage went and got his own key to Disneyland. And so that experience, could you run around and unlock the lands all in one day? Sure.
Well, I told you we were probably going to, and then we didn't.
Yeah, sure. you could do that, but we kind of talked about it because the thought was, well, we didn't want to lug, because it is big. Didn't want to lug the key back and forth. It's about the size of a bubble wand. Actually bigger. It's longer than a bubble wand, probably.
It weighs about the amount of a bubble wand, though. It's a cool device. Like, I just want to talk about the device, the key itself. The key itself is pretty dang cool. For those of you, I mean, we've talked about it before, but now we've experienced it. The key itself has a Disneyland D is kind of like the handle or like the end of the key. And then it's got like a shaft that lights up when you go to these different checkpoints, lights up depending on which ones you've unlocked. And then at the end, kind of like where the teeth of a key would be, it's Sleeping Beauty Castle, which is pretty cool. It lights up. You can cycle it through. Once you've done a unlock point, you can cycle it to that color for that land and play the sound that played when you put it into the unlock station, so that's pretty cool. And there's a bunch of stations around the park. One of the most interesting things that I thought about the key was, because Toontown does close for the fireworks, they actually have a secondary one that's only open when Toontown is closed, that's out by the train station for Toontown/Fantasyland. Yep. So that's something to keep in mind. Also, did you find it interesting that they kind of had some of these locks kind of in off the beaten path, if you will?
They did. There, some of these stations were a little interestingly placed. Yes, a little hidden. Like there's one tucked inside of the Disneyland Fire Department. Other ones, like the New Orleans Square one, was not where I would have assumed it would be. It's kind of tucked back in like the streets of New Orleans Square, kind of back in the corner by where the water fountain and the restrooms are back there. I would have assumed that it would have been in the new Magnolia Gardens.
Me too.
Or Magnolia Park area. So if you need help with it, though, you can go on the app, the Disneyland app, pull up the map, and it will show you all the locations of where there are if you're missing one.
Yeah, I went into the search section and I typed in key, and of course it's going to bring up Magic Key stuff, but one of the things is the key to Disneyland, and if you tap it, it'll give you a button to show on the map. And that's actually where I remembered that there was one in the fire station, because we walked around. Literally, you can't see this one unless you like walk into the fire station.
You have to go in and like turn the corner.
Yeah, but that's one of the best ones, because that one and the Adventureland one are the ones that are the most like indoors all the time, so you can kind of always see the coloring that happens. Yeah. Where I feel like some of the other ones, like you were saying when we did it and we're recording it, that it was hard to see.
Well, you couldn't even see it, I mean, without a recording. You couldn't see it just like in real life. In fact, there's a couple of times that you thought the key was on, but we couldn't tell if it was or not, because you had to cup your hands around it to see if the lights were on or not.
But at night, it's super bright, because like we watched the fireworks show last night, and a couple people in the crowd had it turned on, and I was like, well, that's bright.
The thing that I was surprised about with the keys is, how they're insanely popular. Even though it's been some time since, they first released, it's been a couple weeks now, there's still families that have, that have multiples, or people that have multiples trying to collect the pins, trying to have a fun experience.
Find new ones,
yep. And the other cool thing, too, that I didn't realize is these stations. They've got, they're very interactive. Some of them are just, bubbles and, fun noises. Other ones kind of, unlock hidden magic one. I think my favorite one is the Frontierland one.
That probably is the best one.
And the other cool thing is this is a repeatable experience, because each time, if you're standing in the line, say, each time someone enters their key, it's not the exact same thing that everybody sees, and so it's not very exciting anymore by the time it's your turn. No, they kind of mix it up. So, I think that Frontierland one had maybe 3 different things that could happen.
I think the lady said 4.
Okay.
Because there was that cast member that was near us that said she was hoping to see us do it, because there was a bunch of them there. Because there's a silhouette and some bubbles and a couple different audio sound things that come from it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was cool. That was your favorite one, you said, was the
That's my favorite one.
I think, I don't even know what my favorite one would be now that I'm thinking about it. I'm trying to think of all the different locations. I really I feel like I noticed the light, the front of it lighting up the most in Tomorrowland for some reason. Maybe it was darker.
Another darker, because it's tucked in by the Little Green Man shop,
Sure.
so it's kind of tucked in a little alcove type thing. So it wasn't super sunny in there, so you had more shade, so you could see more of the lights. But yeah,
I think it's totally worth it if you're curious about it to get one. By the way, we just happened to get because there's 9 different pins inside, and they've got a different icon. It's the Disneyland D, but it's a different icon representing all the different lands. And the one that I got, I was very lucky because there was 2 that I really wanted. One was Sleeping Beauty Castle, and one was Partner Statue, and I got the Partner Statue one, and that was very exciting for me. We didn't have to trade it or anything.
I thought it was something else, because I said that those would have been mine too, and there was one other one that you were talking about.
But I was super excited when I saw that it was Partners.
Well, yeah.
There's a couple that I'm not really that excited about, but I mean, and also we've talked about this on the show, but just in case, you can trade them in Tomorrowland as well.
Now I'm trying to remember what other one you said. There's a third one, and I was surprised. I'm like, what? But you got one of the best ones, in my opinion.
Well, now, so we're talking about interactive experiences. There's something that you've been very excited about,
yes,
which doesn't require it requires a magic band.
I'm making us do it every day. We have done it today and created magic for listeners and for other folks, just because it's such a fun, cool thing to do. And best part is as long as you have a magic band, it's free. So there are different stations around the parks that I'm sure you've seen on social media. You can go up to the little thing. Tilly on Main Street is one of them. She's over at the cinema. And you can tap your magic band to one of the points there that has a fun little 70th logo on it. And a ticket spits out, which that's all I had seen anybody talk about. The coolest part about this, that for whatever reason I just had not seen yet, or nobody's talking about yet, I'm not sure, is there's an interaction thing that happens. So when you do it, things happen. So the one for the train, if you don't quickly go to the next one, you sit there long enough, and there's train noises and stuff that happen, and there's a theme little area. It's very, very cool.
Speaking of train noises,
yeah,
that was perfect timing.
Right on cue. But so I thought that was fun.
They're really neat.
Yeah, they're really fun. They're really neat, and the artwork's beautiful on both the front and the back side. So you got to get multiple sets so you can. If you're going to display them, then you can display front and back. Yeah.
Teresa made fun of me because we're talking about magic bands. I did get the 70th anniversary magic band because I thought it was really cool looking. I also...
Now, be honest, you bought 2 magic bands.
Yeah, I got another one that I'll talk about in a future episode, but I did buy another magic band, which Teresa was already rolling her eyes because I bought one, and I already have 4 of them. I brought 3 with me on the trip.
You've probably lost count as to how many magic bands you have.
That's true, because I didn't bring all of the ones that I have.
Magic bands are your ears now.
Maybe. Yeah, they are a little pricey. This one was cool. I will say, one of the weekly tiers that was here, she got a new Tinkerbell one. Did you see the
no, I haven't seen it.
The top that lights up was how in Peter Pan there's the little, she's in the lantern. Mm-hmm. So when it activates, Tinkerbell in the lantern lights up different than the rest of it. It was really cool looking. So I was glad to see that during Paint the Night when we watched it last night. So
another really fun thing before we move on to nighttime events that's new for the 70th is there is a new little, scene in Small World.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, it's Dante and Miguel from Coco, as well as the Marigold Bridge kind of off in the distance. I was really impressed with this. I thought they did a really nice job. Again, it's done so seamlessly that you wouldn't, if you didn't know that it wasn't there, you wouldn't know that it's new.
That's correct. Yeah, I felt that way too.
And the other thing too, we need to take a moment. Small World looked amazing. They did, like, we felt like we were total newbies because they've updated the lighting. We think they've painted and updated some of the set pieces and freshened those up.
We were riding It's a Small World, and Teresa was like, because we didn't really consciously realize that it was like brighter and stuff, like, because I don't know. And so we're riding through, and Teresa's like, was this here before?
Yeah,
did they change something here?
All these small little details that suddenly were like popping out.
I think because it was well lit.
I think so too.
One of the ways that I knew that they did something with the lighting is one of the things I always pay attention to in Small World, and I don't know why, is towards the end, they have these like flowers, and there's always a light that lights up in the middle, and sometimes they've been like burnt out and stuff. Yeah. Well, they change colors now. Yeah. They didn't change colors before.
That's the other thing. The finale scene is not just white light. There's some soft color light that kind of gets mixed into it to give it a little extra pop, but it looks like it looks like a brand new attraction. Yeah. Like how much lit up and everything it was. It was great. That, so we're sitting in the boat, and I'm looking up in like the jungle scene. I'm like, have there always been this many vines on the ceiling, and all sorts of stuff. So Small World's looking fantastic.
It's become the running joke of our trip. Because of that one ride on this Small World, that like we're like, oh, was this here before? See, we don't even know the park anymore.
Yeah,
so it's kind of been
we're
fun.
Imposters apparently, because when they like shine these things up, it's amazing that we could have gone on that attraction. However many times we've gone on that attraction in our life, just in the time that we've been doing the podcast. And we're still noticing new things every time you go on.
Well, there's a lot in there.
It's crazy, though.
Yeah, and we had Chrysanthi, who was on, a bajillion episodes ago. I remember she challenged us to like just listen to different things in there. So like there's so many layers that are in there, and part of that were really cool. Try to think, was there any... Oh, I want to talk just overall quick. The 70th decorations around the park. Mm-hmm. I kind of like it. It's really neat. It's nice. We did have a fun experience where Teresa and I got some photo pass in front of one of the like medallion things, and the lady was putting us in poses, and she's like, I'm trying to get you to mimic the characters. And Teresa stood on Mickey's side. I stood on Minnie's side because she was making me do the Minnie pose. She's like, you picked the side.
Yep.
And we had a really great photo pass photographer in front of the train station.
Yes, we did.
He was amazing. He was like, you were commenting when we were in line.
We did. We put in a ton of class compliments this trip.
But you were commenting that he was like a ninja. He was getting like all of his stretches out and doing all types of crazy stuff. Yeah. It was really great.
It was so fun. The other thing I want to comment too on just like decoration overall, there's all sorts of fun, brightly colorful bunting all up and down Main Street on the train station. All the light posts have all these really fun, I don't know, kind of like a ribbon version of the bunting kind of pulled down. The light post, this is going to sound so weird, but the light pole decorations are my favorite because they each have a miniature 70th celebration medallion, and there's like crazy little like streamers kind of popping out the top, and they're just so brightly colorful and fun. I don't know. I know it's 70 years. It's maybe not looking as like elegant and classy as say like maybe the 60th anniversary with diamonds or the 50th with gold, but I tell you, it does make you happy with all these nice bright colors. I think the point of this celebration is to just be fun and whimsical and happy. Yeah. And it's totally doing that. And we'll talk about it when we talk about some of the entertainment we've seen, but I feel like even though it's been warm here, because it's now it's June in Southern California, and it's been fairly crowded. We 2 of our nights so far, maybe 3 now, at least 2 have been grad nights, so it's been a little bit busier. But it still feels like a really fun atmosphere. So I think in terms of the celebration, I think they've done a really excellent job at executing on like the vibe they were going for. Well, and the other nice thing too is they've upped the entertainment, but then also kind of like we're going to talk about the 2 interactive activities. So it's not like the only thing to do is go and wait in line for attractions and like maybe only the fireworks show. Oh no, you've got this fun, cute little cavalcade that is headed by Duffy and Shelley May, and then you've got all sorts of other fun characters in there. My only complaint is it's a cavalcade, so of course it's too short. We want more, but it's really fun, and you can't help but like bounce along to the song. What is it called?
Celebrate Happy.
Yeah, Happy by the Jonas Brothers, and
which is everywhere, by the way.
It is. Even like we were
But not annoyingly
we
so.
were sitting and eating lunch over in DCA, and the mariachi band was playing it. You just never know where it's going to pop up.
But like sometimes like Let It Go is a great example in my personal opinion that was kind of like everywhere and you're like, okay, I'm tired of hearing this. I think they've done a good job transforming it enough in the places where it's at that it doesn't feel like, oh, here we go again. And they haven't overused it. It's great. How could you not have talked about the twinkling lights on the castle that you're obsessed with?
Yeah, so the bunting that's behind the 70th medallion on the castle, yes, they have this beautiful little twinkling lights, and they're like a gold twinkling light that's in them. It's so gorgeous. The other thing that I really like that is not parks related specifically, but over in the Grand Californian, if you have time, go over there, check out the display, and they've got like a display that's celebrating the Donald's Adventure Buffet. It's super fun. It's not like their normal display. It's a little smaller, but there's all sorts of awesome details. But they have their own Grand Californian version of the 70th logo. And that one, seeing it like in the parks with the bright pops of fun colors, and it's kind of happy and whimsical, same logo, but they have used different colors.
To fit into the theme,
so elegant, and it fits so well with the theme of the Grand California. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, it was really great. We tried, when we were over there, I got just real small, itty-bitty snack chat. I got the 4-pack, 5-pack, the pretzel rods that are over there.
Yeah,
They're pretty good.
They're pretty good. Back to the little cavalcade, though. It was just so fun. I'm going through my pictures real quick to try and remember who all was in the cavalcade. We, of course, had Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Pluto. Oh, all sorts. The Mad Hatter, Geppetto, Peter Pan, Max from Goof Troop, Goofy's son. Some really fun, colorful dancers that had really, really fun, but also very comfy looking, stylish outfits that they wore.
It's a short cavalcade, like you were saying, but I think, like, it was still super, like, the performers and the characters bringing so much energy to it. Really, like, I felt like it left you wanting more for as simple as it was.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, now we got the Dapper Dans behind us.
Who needs to hear us when you can hear them? So moving on, we'll kind of transition into like the nighttime entertainment stuff that we've been able to do. Oh, no. Before we do that, let's talk about the Pixar parade, Better Together.
Oh, same parade as it was before. We got to catch it a couple different times. Pro tip, maybe, if you are seeing it when it steps off for the first time of the day, it steps off over by Guardians of the Galaxy. Mm-hmm. And we were able to find a really great spot right next to the Animation Academy. There's a lot of shade there across from the Hyperion queue area.
Yeah.
And we were able to get a nice spot there to watch the parade go by. And then we accidentally caught it a little bit later. We were over in the Paradise Garden Park area when it was coming back the opposite direction. Mm-hmm. So we were able to get a nice shady spot right there as well, and there weren't as many people. So if you don't want to be out in the heat waiting for a parade, because it does get very warm, two really great places, and we didn't even wait that long at either one of them.
Yeah. The other fun thing, too, in DCA, before, again, we head on to our nighttime entertainment, is for a very short period of time, there is a Magic Key special event to celebrate the 70th. And this was way more than I thought it was going to be. We saw advertised that everyone was, like, anybody that attended would get a print as long as they didn't run out of Paint the Night. And we were...
Which was our main draw.
Total nerds. I totally brought a cardboard tube so we could, like, roll them up so we didn't wreck them in transit either around the parks or back home to Wisconsin. However, the tube's, like, an inch and a half too short. So we're going to have to figure that out. But... the attempt was there. We tried.
It's still protected.
It is still pretty protective, yeah. So that was fun. But what I wasn't expecting, it was like this fun little interactive plaza, basically. There was all sorts of different photo ops going around. There were cast members stationed at each photo op to take your photos for you.
It reminded me of the after hours photo ops that they have that are done so well. The only thing that was different with these, well, maybe it wasn't different. I almost wish there would have been a PhotoPass photographer there. That would have just been like the cherry on top. It was a really great experience.
Agreed.
But if you wanted just that little extra cherry on top, they had a really nice Pirates of the Caribbean one where you could pretend that you were in the jail cell trying to get the keys from the dog. There was a really great, like, Alice in Wonderland, right? Like going down the well, the teacup was hilarious because I crouched down and Teresa looked at the photos afterwards. She goes, "You look so small."
You crouched down too far.
I look like I'm drowning in the tea.
Yeah. But you're like, basically you're in the it looks like you're in the teacup falling down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
It's very cute.
And then what was it? There was a photo booth.
Yeah, there was a photo booth that we skipped because the line was very, very long for that. And then there was kind of, it almost looked like a red carpet background type thing.
Do you want to know what
Celebrate Happy, and then you have little like things you could hold. It was very fun. There was a lot more going on than I was expecting.
I'm going to teach you the fancy technical term for this that I learned.
Okay.
Those like things that where people like famous people stand in front of, they're called step and repeats.
Step and repeats. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why, but that's just what they're called. Oh, Clarabelle is coming out.
I know, Minnie's right there. See her?
I saw. Yeah, I heard you. Squeal about Minnie.
Distracted.
We love recording this in the park, and I'm sure you guys like listening to us have those moments. There's a lot going on right now. We got Clarabelle and Minnie. We got the train behind us. The Dapper Dans are over.
This is just what we can see from our side of the train.
Well, we normally record on the west side of the park, so it's great that we're like at the front of the park recording, and now we got a lot of stuff because you guys have said you love hearing the atmosphere. So here we are.
I'm waiting for like Clarabelle to do a little runway walk down here in front of us.
I think she's just having a good old time with the guest that's hanging out. So, do we want to transition to nighttime, or did you have more?
That's all I got. The only thing...
Don't miss the magic key thing if you do have a magic key. It's really cool.
The only thing that doesn't have its own... Oh my gosh, that was the perfect transition. Can you all hear that?
It's Grim Granny Ghost.
So, what my thing that I wanted to talk about was the updated Haunted Mansion.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is the first time that I've seen and experienced the new extended queue.
Well, let's start there. What did you think of the extended queue?
The new effects inside. I liked it. It's one of those, again, they did such a good job that if you didn't know that that's not how it's always been, you wouldn't know that that's not how it's always been. In fact, there's a lot of like fun little new things to like discover and notice while you're there, which I love because it like gave it like revitalized, a space that we had been in for quite a while. So very, very cool. Very creepy. Actually, I was a little disappointed because my first experience of the extended queue was just like a quick walk by because there was no line, but there were people behind us, so it was kind of this awkward like, do we wait? Do we go?
They were also taking pictures and enjoying it. Yeah. I will say too, I experienced it in February, but I actually think now that it's had time to like grow in, it's even better now.
I believe that. I can understand that. And then inside the mansion, so we know that they've updated the bride scene, but some other things that, again, people have not really been talking about. The vampire bat, or the man-eating bat, is still residing in the hallowed halls of the mansion. He appeared during this past holiday time with a little bow to mark, and then there was, maybe it was Mark and Alice, I don't remember what the bow was, but to mark Mark and Alice Davis, of course. But yeah, that was still there, so I wasn't sure if that was only during the Haunted Mansion holiday or not. The other thing too is there's cool projection effects now in the graveyard scene that have like ghosts that are like traveling up and over the ceiling. There's
spirits are leaving.
Yes, there's also like floating candelabra in one of the crypts. And the lighting, it seems, has been plussed.
Lighting everywhere has been plussed.
Has been plussed in there too. Now the bride,
Here we go, everybody.
I said,
buckle in.
I asked him, I'm like, can you like let's try and film like my first reaction of it or whatever. Well, it was a flop of a first reaction, and it's dark. You can't even like see anything in it, so it was total flop. But my honest first opinion of the bride, because I did remain spoiler free.
You've seen it twice now.
Photos. I'm like I was confused in a good way because I need it to pause long enough so I can study this effect and animatronic, because I'm not understanding how, because I know that it's a practical and a projection, but I'm not understanding how the two, like where one starts and one begins and stops. You know what I mean?
You're not
like,
supposed to.
I know it's blended so well, but that's why I'm like confused by it. I like it. The thing, my gripe or complaint with it is she just looks much different than the rest of the mansion. Like all of the other ghosts, like you feel like you can go and touch them. She looks like a ghost.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's I don't know. She doesn't blend in as seamlessly as some of the other things they've done, I guess, in my opinion. And I wish she was closer, because she's kind of like tucked back in a corner.
I think that you might be onto something with the fact that you don't get enough time to look at her. Like Hatbox Ghost, you get a little bit of time to figure out what's going on. Where I feel like because she's so far tucked back, that she's obscured until you see her, and then you're like, oh, and then she's gone.
Yeah. So
because the Doom Buggy turns for the Hatbox Ghost, which I don't think we should take away from the Hatbox Ghost.
And she's positioned differently. So the bride before was kind of I don't know, standing to the left of the exit of the attic. This one is, but facing you as you're going left. This one's kind of on the other wall of that corner, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you're facing her straight on, but only right before you go out.
Yeah.
So the placement's a little not ideal for me, and I wish she was closer. So again, I could figure out what's going on there. But overall, I enjoy it. I do enjoy her. I do think that the previous rendition of the bride did need some updating and some plussing, so I'm glad that she got some TLC.
Yeah, and I think you talked about it a little bit with the lighting and stuff too, is it seems to me, because I've been looking at the technology of it all, that it seems like where possible and when they've had an opportunity to, they're switching all of their lighting to some types of LEDs, because everything that we've seen, Small World, Haunted Mansion, when I've been able to see what the light fixtures look like, they are LED lights now. So I think obviously that's better energy efficiency. They have a lot more control over it. They're a lot brighter, and they last a lot longer. So I think it's a really good, from a sustainability aspect of the park, I think that's a good change, and it just looks so great.
Yeah. Okay, now finally, we've held you enough in suspense. Nighttime spectaculars.
But we have some changes to the nighttime spectaculars that we'll talk about. So we did the only way you should see Fantasmic. We did a dining package.
To see Fantasmic,
Do you want to talk about what happened with our dining package? Just because somebody else may have made the same mistake. Yeah,
you may be in the same boat. So we're gonna share what happened. Being someone that likes to do things in advance, right? And
as you
now
should,
being
especially
a
dining.
concierge and working and planning other people's trips, with dining, it's very important. If there's something you want and there's reservations, snag it when you can, because you can always change your mind and drop it later. You're not locked into it once you've done it. There's always a window so that you can cancel without having any sort of penalty. So we were talking about doing a dining package, and you did Cafe Orleans. I'd never done the Cafe Orleans version. Yeah, in February you did it with your family. And so I was like, let's do that, because Blue Bayou is not an option anymore. That was the one that when we would really want to treat ourselves, we do the Blue Bayou version. That one got expensive. Then they introduced Rancho, which has been fantastic.
What a value.
Anybody coming to Disneyland, just do the Rancho dining package. Just save yourself the time. You're gonna eat anyways. It's the most affordable of the options, and you still get a really, really wonderful reserved seating on the ground area. So we were going to go treat ourselves a little bit and do the Cafe Orleans version. So what it had been, keywords there, what it had been was you just made a regular dining reservation, and when you were there, you'd let them know, when you checked in, that you were interested in doing the dining package for Fantasmic, and then they'd give you that menu and ta-da. So you just need a normal dining reservation, right? So that's what we had. For some reason, I decided to check it the day before or it was the day of when we were sitting in the airports.
Were we trying to look at the menu? That's what it was.
We were trying to look at the menu. And all of a sudden, literally on the 25th, I want to say it was, this was the 28th when we were supposed to be there, they had changed what it was. It was now a separate reservation to do the Fantasmic dining package. And more importantly, for what we were looking at that point, it was a different menu from what it had been before. So we were excited about the original menu, not as excited about the updated menu. So we were very, very lucky, got to cancel out of that old reservation that we had, and were able to book a same-day Rancho dining reservation. So we still had great seats, or a great viewing area for Fantasmic, and delicious food from Rancho.
Yeah. Now, a couple things I want to just mention about Rancho quickly is they've changed a little bit how they do check-in. So if you do this dining package, there is if you can visualize it in your head, if you will, you're in Frontierland. You just went past the shooting gallery. There's the hallway, the exterior corridor, if you will, that goes to the front gate of Rancho. We had gone all the way down to that because that's used to be where you would check in. Well, they sent us back. There is a check-in desk off to the left of the end of that corridor where you enter Rancho. So that is where you check in. They confirm your reservation. They find you on a list. If you had booked it recently enough like we did, they take your name and all of that stuff to make sure they can reconcile their records or whatever. And then they give you the pamphlet you need and everything to go in and get the dining package food. I got the same dining package food that I got the last time we had it, which was like the
carne asada.
Carne asada, which was really good. Comes with a dessert, comes with a carne asada and a drink.
Yep.
All wonderful. And then you pay, and then they give you the tickets, and then you show up at the spot, 45 minutes to an hour before the show, you can start checking in.
Yep.
So that's just the big thing I wanted to point out is make sure that you get to that check-in thing that's at the beginning there.
Yep. And Fantasmic was fantastic as normal. There was a couple of interesting things that just happened to be unique, I'm assuming, to our showing. One being we only had 2 princess barges. We did not have Belle.
Different.
Belle and the Beast were not there. So that was different. And in that same scene that was different, we have a theory, which we will get to. But Aladdin and Jasmine did not come up on the magic carpet. They just kind of danced around on the stage. They still had the fog and stuff, so it looked like they were dancing in the clouds, but no magic carpet. Then the other thing, too, is the biggest difference, I think, that was kind of the first time I had experienced this, was the final epic moment between Mickey and Maleficent. Of course, rest in peace, Murphy. We no longer have an actual dragon. That makes that scene really incredibly awesome and amazing and just like pick your jaw up the floor type of thing. We just have Maleficent on a stick. However, this time we didn't even have that. She didn't rise up. She just kind of, Mickey and her kind of were like, I don't know, dueling and chasing each other around the stage. It looked better than that poor description.
I will say, because I told Teresa afterwards, when I saw it in February, she rose up and did all the stuff. I actually personally preferred what they showed here, which was
it's like a C version.
Maleficent was kind of taunting Mickey, and like they were kind of doing this almost like a dance on stage of like she was shooting things at him and he was running around and she was moving around the stage a little bit up by the front.
She was acting that she was it was still the same like one little firework that Mickey sends over.
But I thought it worked better than her staying stationary and going up on the thing, like, because that just felt like it was leading to something and building, and it didn't.
Yeah.
But this one I thought worked really well.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Because I know what I think. What is your hypothesis?
We had talked about that. Where something's going on below decks that we think was preventing
Murphy's Lair, if you will.
Yes, Murphy's Lair. Something's going on below decks that's preventing them to be able to use other lifts and other pieces that also reside in Murphy's Lair. So we don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. We don't know if that means they're doing stuff to remove the remains of Murphy, if they're installing new things, and we're going to be getting some wickedly wild, amazing announcements coming up soon.
Fingers crossed.
Or what? But we think there's something happening. There's something happening.
I am going to put it out there that here's what I want it to be. By the way, we do not have any inside knowledge.
No.
We have not heard any of this. This is my imagination alone. I think it'd be really cool if for next summer to kind of put the period on the sentence of the 70th that we get a new dragon.
I don't know. I was going to be more hopeful than that and say the 17th.
I don't know about that.
No, I know. That was my hope, but I don't
I mean,
think that's my just I would love that. I don't think that'll happen, but that's my hope.
Ooh.
Because they don't have to.
I like your idea better.
They've been getting good about pre-announcing things, but they don't have to do that. They could totally surprise us with a new thing, and just the people that are there in that moment that experience it for the first time get to be the first ones to know that it's there and that it's coming. How amazing would that
would be really cool.
That's how they used to do
If it
stuff.
doesn't, that would leak. Someone would have to leak that, right? Like a cast member preview of it or something. It would leak.
Maybe they wouldn't even do a preview. I don't know.
I don't know. You know what?
Fantasy world
I would totally support what you just said. I just think what I said is slightly, and when I mean slightly, I mean slightly more realistic.
Yeah.
But only just.
I agree.
But it was a good show.
Awesome
I
as
thought
usual.
when we saw it in February, I think that there was also less fireworks. They had more fireworks this time. Overall, great show. We did have a moment of like, there was the two barges that came out, and for a moment we thought they were actually going to hit each other.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the angle we were sitting at or what, but it was a little, we were nervous. But it was okay. Everything was good.
It worked out.
Continuing on with Nighttime Spectaculars, we'll talk about Wondrous Journeys, which of course came back from, that was the show that debuted for the 100th celebration. Really gorgeous, really beautiful show. The first time we watched it back on the facade of Small World, which is a great location to watch it at. The second time we watched it was actually just last night, like in its entirety.
Yeah.
Was last night.
On Main Street.
And unfortunately for us, Baymax was a little shy and did not come out. But still, very wonderful, very great show.
You said something, and I just want to make sure, because we don't know where our listeners are at in knowledge of things.
Yeah.
I just want to clarify in case there's anybody confused. The Walt Disney Company a couple years ago had a 100th celebration. Disneyland this year is celebrating the 70th. Sure. So in case you get confused as to, wait a minute, I thought you said 70, where's 100 coming from? I'm sure everybody listening knows that, but just in case.
Just in case.
But yeah, it was part of the 100th. But I think, if you haven't heard me talk about it before, second best fireworks show Disneyland has ever done after Remember Dreams Come True, which was the 50th anniversary show. And I last night, you know me, I'm a pretty non-emotional person with a lot of things. There is a scene in that show that almost gets me like every time.
I call it like The Void is what I call it.
Well, there's that's cool, but that right after that, where they're talking about like breaking things, and then there's the inspiring kind of. It just kind of, I don't know, something about it just gets me. And I was standing there last night, and I was like, I don't know if I'm just tired or what, but I'm going to start crying here. But anyway, great show. Small World. Great place to see it. Mm-hmm. Less people back there, so if you want to see the projections the easiest, that's great. Main Street, also not a bad choice. Last night, we watched Paint the Night in Town Square, and then because the parade comes down Main Street, when the parade goes by, you can then move up and get pretty decent.
Pro tip for you there.
Yeah, so what did you liked Wondrous Journeys?
Yeah. No, I enjoy Wondrous Journeys. No changes have been made to when it was first originally debuted for the 70th, so it is the same show, still very wonderful. But something that is new,
you can almost say it was wondrous.
Something that you can only experience back at Small World, and that's called Tapestry of Happiness. So this is a fun little projection and light show that happens on the Small World facade. It happens pretty frequently. It's not like you have to, it's the one show a night and that's it. It's several shows a night. Something like every 30 minutes, every 15 minutes, something like that. It's pretty regular. So the great part about that is you don't miss it, because if you missed it, you can just hang out for a few minutes and there'll be another one. But then also, because it's not just the one and done, you don't have to worry about lining up early to get a good spot. You basically are always going to be guaranteed a good spot to be able to see the whole thing. It is so fun. So I don't even remember what the music is for it. I just was...
It's Celebrate Happy is part of it.
Oh, is it Celebrate Happy?
Yep.
I was just enamored with all of the different animations and all the fun nods to Disneyland's past, present. I don't think we saw any future things, but just Disneyland's past and present.
I would say when we watched it the first time, Wondrous Journeys is a great celebration of the Walt Disney Company over the last 100 years. Sure. Tapestry of Happiness is a celebration of Disneyland over the last 70 years.
And I think it's actually, they've actually described it, like Disney and Disneyland have described Tapestry of Happiness as a love letter to Disneyland.
It is. It definitely is.
It's gorgeous. And there's so many fun, maybe hidden, not so hidden things in there that, like, when we watched it the first time, I actually went way up front. Tage was a little further back. And after we were done, I'm like, did you see that I think they had Mary Blair and Rolly Crump in the animations? And Tage's like, what? Like, so you just kind of look at the whole thing. You never know what you may spot.
And if you're fans of things like the Skyway and the People Mover, they make some appearances. I was a little angry that the
rocket rods were there, but they were also present.
You know, there's people that miss that too, I'm sure. Just to let you know, tonight, just to give you an idea what Teresa was saying about timing, because it is kind of interesting how they time this. So tonight, which is the 2nd of June, They have it at 10 o'clock, 10:15, 10:30, and 11:45.
Sure.
So literally, you can see it 3 times, like pretty much back to back to back.
Yeah, they take a break for the fireworks and for the 2 parades. Speaking of parades, Paint the Night is also back, and it's looking fantastic.
It's sounding great, too.
Sounding great. We were super fortunate last night. We got to stand in one of my favorite spots to watch the Disneyland parades, and that's right here in Town Square, specifically up close to where they put the Christmas tree or the Mickey pumpkin. It's called Christmas Tree Point. It's right at the end of Main Street. It's just so magical to be sitting there and watching that parade coming at you from the distance, and then just getting excited and all the anticipation for then when it's finally there. But what I really enjoyed about it is you get to see kind of different perspectives, I guess, of the floats, because you get to see the float straight on, so we got to notice different lighting effects, as well as then, of course, off to the side, the side of the parade as it comes by and comes around.
Yeah. I have very fond memories of this parade from when I was here for the 60th. From like the one time I saw it or whatever when it was over in California Adventure a couple years after that, and then it has disappeared for the last like 7 or 8 years. And so when we sat down to watch it, I just had the goofiest smile on my face because I remember why I love this parade so much. It is the successor in so many ways to the Electrical Parade. It is, if they were to make the Electrical Parade today, or in this case like 10 years ago at this point, this would be that parade. And there's little musical homages to the Electrical Parade.
Floats that pay homage to the Electrical Parade as well. Yeah. It's really
just, and they've updated stuff. The truck, the Mac from Cars, they did some new technology with that, so they have some graphics and stuff that look really cool.
They've also updated some of the costumes for the performers and characters as well.
They added, here's the dumbest one. I'm pretty sure, I'm almost 100% certain, that the rope at the end of the parade is new. And it's also lit up and fun.
It's like a spinny, like it's almost like part of the parade. It's not just a rope, it's like this fun spinny bar type thing that kind of finalizes the parade.
It's also a long parade, which is good. Mm-hmm. Like that's not a complaint at all. That's like I'm really glad that it takes its time.
Yes. It's fantastic. We're very happy and glad to see it back. Personally, I think there could be a reality where Electrical Parade and Paint the Night could coexist and be, one be a nighttime parade in each park. I think that would be
that'd be wonderful.
Awesome.
And magic happens during the day.
Yes.
And
until we get
Pixar Pals or the
I don't know.
Better Together or something over there.
I don't know. Yeah, another parade over there. I don't know if it's better. If Better Together is the one I would pick out of all the history of parades at Disneyland, but yeah, either way.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Speaking of DCA, let's hop on over to the other park. We were very fortunate and snagged a last-minute World of Color dessert party reservation. Now, as you all know, we were on the fence on if this was something we wanted to do. Again, thank you to everyone that wrote in to give us your thoughts and opinions on dessert parties of past that you experienced. Overwhelmingly, it was a lot of positive, yes, do it, it's super fun. We did have some folks that said, not really worth the money, not really worth the experience. But we'll talk to you guys about what our experience was like. Yeah.
So it was kind of interesting. One thing I want, again, kind of like the Fantasmic thing, the check-in for this is over by the water wheel of the Grizzly River Run. So you can go stand in line and check in, or you can check in through the app. Here's what happened to us. We had a 2-person reservation. We had 2 weekly tiers that also happened to get a reservation, and we wanted to kind of sit together. And we both mobile checked in, so when we arrived at the gate, they had already like auto assigned us like 2 tops. So if you want to combine reservations, don't auto check in.
I don't know. I think they seat you with another party. I think they're all 4 tops.
Okay.
I don't know for sure.
I don't know either. But if you want to sit with somebody and you have 2 separate reservations, I would suggest doing the manual check-in, because then it was fine. Like the cast member worked with us. But if you want to have like the most smooth, I would say do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a great spot. When we showed up to it, we got taken to our seat, and it's a good straight on kind of shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The only thing that was unfortunate about where we were sitting, and I'm not sure if this was a one-off for that evening, I'm going to hope so, but for some reason there was one high top in the front row where all of the other ones were low tops. So typically every time I've seen this is there's 2 rows of tables, first row, and then a like row of tables, aisleway for all the servers to and cast members to climb up and down to get you all your goodies, and then a second row that's all high tops. For some reason there was one high top in the front row, and it was in between us and the thing. So Tage was very kind and shifted over. He's like, oh no, it's not my way, but for my height, it was like I was right behind, like it was somebody's head was Mickey's wheel.
To be fair, there were a couple times during the show that I was like, well, I got to kind of look around. But I think the guy who was sitting there, the guest, might have been aware of it, because I feel like there was times where he kind of like slouched down a little bit.
Yeah. It was just a little strange. But that was just us. But the cool thing about where we were located that had nothing to do with the dessert party was right behind us was where the VIP seating area
Teresa
was. So
says that she's really bad at finding people.
Unless it's a Disney celebrity, then somehow I
never would have seen him.
So I look over, I was talking to Tage actually, and this gentleman was standing behind Tage. Back of his head was facing us. He was talking to someone else, and I'm just looking.
Mind you, this is like 10 feet behind me or more.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like right behind me.
I'm just looking, and I'm like, I think that's Pete Docter. And everyone's like, what? And so everyone's kind of looking and whatever, and even a cast member.
Around.
Yeah, it was fine. He was talking with someone. And even a cast member came over, and she was jokingly like, what are we all looking at? So I told her, and she said that he had been there like a couple weeks prior, whatever. She's like, maybe it's him, I don't know. So nobody really thought it was, and I just kind of was like, I think that's him. And then finally he turned enough that I got enough of a profile, and then he turned and faced us full on 100,000%. It was Pete Docter. And the coolest thing about that was, since then I spotted, knew for sure that it was him, I was looking around at who else was sitting up there, because again, that's just how I was seated at the table. I was facing the VIP area at this point when we were eating, and then what I did was we turned my chair to then be able to see the World of Color show. There was all sorts of different people that I recognized from Pixar, from watching some of the behind-the-scene Pixar kind of documentary things that they have on Disney Plus. So they must have been having like a company outing. And the fun thing too is this new World of Color Happiness show is very Pixar focused. Like there's a lot of Pixar characters. It's Joy, of course, that's kind of your host for it. So it was fun hearing them cheer for the different Pixar characters and stuff. So that was a very unique experience that obviously Pete Docter's not going to be sitting behind the World of Color dessert party every time, but he was for ours.
I thought, so you get there, you have a choice of like soft drinks and water, and then there's like a specialty non-alcoholic beverage, and then there's a specialty alcoholic beverage. Mm-hmm. And over the course of the time, Teresa had tried both. I only tried the non-alcoholic because I didn't really want anything alcoholic. And then there was a box that, it's Disney, right? Like, okay, so
we knew that it was going to come in a box.
But I'm an Apple nerd, and I keep all my Apple boxes because they're so well done.
Yeah.
And this box was really well done. Like, you can't tell from the photos, but it's like you could put keepsakes and stuff in it afterwards and clean it out.
Spoiler alert: we did keep just our boxes, and we did clean them out to use just for that. We wanted to make sure that our treasures that we're collecting during this are protected, not only on their travels home to Wisconsin, but also going forward too. But yeah.
So. Surprise, the shocker for me was there was like a lemon bundt cake or something in here that I thought was one of the highlights, and it wasn't too lemony. I don't really like lemon, but it was really good. It was almost up there with that olive oil cake that they had at the food fest a while ago.
So it was a zesty lemon cake with candied citrus wedge on top.
It was so good.
It was like a gummy citrus rub. It was very, very good. There was, a World of Color seasonal non-alcoholic specialty beverage. We do not have a description of what that was. And there was also a seasonal cocktail that was there. The seasonal cocktail had lemonade in it, and it was like a vodka lemonade, but there was other stuff in it. It was good. It was actually quite good. Other things that were in our little box of deliciousness were artisan charcuterie and cheeses with seasonal jam and crackers, assorted freeze-dried fruit, which all
that was good.
We're not sure what we thought of that, but they were really good. Very, very flavorful.
The raspberries, I think, what was it, raspberries?
Yeah.
Were my least favorite, but there was oranges, and then there was something else that I'm not sure what it was.
I don't know what that other thing was. Maybe it was a grape. It was
that could have
so sweet and so flavorful. It was a dessert in and of itself.
Yeah, it was good.
We also had a white chocolate drizzled crisp rice treat, so a Rice Krispie.
Did you try that?
Spoiler alert, it's not just Rice Krispies in this crisp rice treat. There were also, what are those things called? The fruit-shaped cereals.
Oh, like...
Not Fruit Loops. Not Fruity Pebbles. Tricks. There were tricks also in...
We just went on a whole journey.
I know, a cereal journey. A fruity cereal journey. But yeah, there were tricks in there as well, which I think made it. Like, that made it different than just your average.
I should have tried it. I didn't try
Rice
it.
Krispie. It was delicious. There was a World of Color macaron,
which was also okay.
It was cute. And it had like a screen print of the World of Color logo on it.
There was a chocolate chip cookie, like they sell them in the Grand Californian, that they put like a hot cocoa or something in, or a chocolate milk in, but this had like a mousse in it.
They called it a mini cupcake, a mini cupcake that topped a filled cookie cup.
Yeah. I thought it was really good. One of the Weekly Tears who was with us, it was her favorite thing out of the box. She's like, this is amazing.
Yeah. It was, so overall experience, we were treated very well.
Oh, the
Service
pin.
was prompt.
You didn't say about the pin.
That's right. There was a mystery pin that we all got. You could get one of 3 designs. I'm such a nerd. I got the one that's the ultra rare one. It's like, they're all the same pin, but they're just different colors. And it's Mickey and Minnie watching World of Color. The common one is in color with, the colorful fountains. Mickey and Minnie are in full color, all that. The next rarity one is the color version, but it's sparkly. And then the ultra rare one is that scene, but it's like a sepia tone. So it's kind of like more browns.
It's like an old-timey photo kind of thing.
Yeah. And that's the one I got. And I was like, dang, like I was hoping for the colorful one or the sparkly one. Literally everybody at the table got the colorful one, except for me, which was okay.
But you traded.
Because I traded. So that person got a good deal because they got the ultra rare, even though, yes, that was the one that was more rare, just wasn't my thing. So I was glad to trade it to somebody that appreciated it more than I.
We had a really good experience as well. There were some great cast members at this location, too. We had one of the cast members come to take a photo. She had this little light and took great photos of us.
She was professional.
Yeah, I was like, you should be a PhotoPass photographer.
PhotoPass photographer, yeah.
She did a really nice job. We got some great photos there. It was good.
So the thing that was really great about this experience, it is pricey. You do get food and beverages as you're there. I would recommend doing the earlier showing of World of Color because we did not feel rushed at all to get through our stuff. In fact, we finished our foods and still had like 20 minutes until the show started. So it was very relaxed. And it was just nice to kind of sit and take that time to just kind of enjoy the space, not have to worry and be standing in one spot waiting for the show to start. You just got to relax until the show started. Plus, it was unobstructed viewing for the most part. And you're sitting the whole time, and the chairs were comfy because they were like director-style chairs. So, like, if that's your thing, 100% recommend doing it.
Yeah.
Now, for me, we'll talk about the show. This experience solidified to me that I am just not a World of Color person. Because
this surprised me because at the end you were like, I don't think I'm a World of Color person. I'm like, really?
Yeah. I have now experienced it multiple ways. I've been very fortunate to experience it multiple ways for multiple viewings, and we've experienced multiple versions. I have decided my favorite has been World of Color 1. We'll talk more about that later. But we've watched it from the dining package viewing area. We've watched it from now the dessert party viewing area. We've watched it from the splash zone and maybe the other side areas. We watched it from all the areas, including World of Color 1. We did get to that was going on during when were gifted our VIP tour. And so we watched it in the VIP seating area, which, again, if you're thinking about doing the World of Color dessert package, the VIP seating area is behind you. So you know it's a good viewing area.
Right.
And yeah, like Fantasmic, no questions asked. I'm like, yep, we're going to sign up. We're going to do a dining package for that. I want that front row experience because I really love that show. But yeah, this just kind of solidified. It doesn't matter my view or any of that stuff. It's just not my show, which that's okay because we don't have to love everything. Yeah. I appreciate it. I enjoy it for sure. But even with the best experience, it still wasn't amazing, incredible for me.
I loved this version of it. This probably, I'll have to see World of Color 1 again if they ever bring it back, but I think this might have been my favorite version. I felt like it had a pretty cohesive storyline. Teresa described it to me as that she felt that it was kind of like one note the whole way through. Yeah. There wasn't like Fantasmic, you get like a big epic thing and everything.
Or like the super sad moment,
Yeah. I will say, what I consider, because of my humor and snarkiness maybe, my favorite thing isn't even part of the main show. It's the pre-show with the Muppets.
That was good.
It is. So make sure you were there maybe 10 minutes early because they do it before the show starts. And just to give you an idea of a concept for this, they are basically trying to give you the safety spiel for the show. And it's done in a very Muppet way.
Who decided to put the Muppets in charge of the safety spiel?
The lawyer Muppet guy who's part of it. Anyway, it's really, really great.
Yeah.
The show itself, if you're a fan of Inside Out, all of the emotions are part of it. They're kind of the thread that holds the whole show kind of together.
Yep.
And I thought it was really well done. As someone who liked in World of Color 1 the lighting and stuff on the Incredicoaster, they've really utilized that a lot.
Yes.
The new stuff they've added for this one is they've added bubbles and smoke effects
and lasers.
And they had some limited lasers before, but not
the laser images before.
No, they just had some little lasers.
Technically, I really liked this show. I liked the spectacle of the show as far as the lighting that they did on the Incredicoaster, the lasers, it was almost like there was fog all over the lagoon at times.
It was cool.
But I wanted some more power line. I wanted more of the power line. I was expecting it to be more of an epic high than it was, I guess would be a good way of saying it.
Sure.
So yeah. But anyways.
It was a great show. I really like it. The Muppets, like I said, I'm so glad they've added Muppets to things because the Muppets need more representation in the parks because who doesn't love the Muppets?
Yeah.
In a future episode, there's another Muppet thing we'll talk about that was also really amazing for this trip, but we'll talk about that then. A little teaser for later.
I was like, what? There was? Oh yeah, that's right. I was there.
There's so much that's happened on this trip, and you'll hear it over the next few episodes of just craziness.
Such a crazy, packed to the best way possible, to the brim type of trip. To the point that, every trip I feel like we get to a certain point where that was only 2 days ago. That feels like it was 2 months ago. But this is even a different level because we have had fun, amazing things scheduled every day. And some of them multiple things a day. Some of them just kind of happened at the last minute. Some of them we had planned months in advance. So it's just been a whirlwind. We've got to see so many people, so many friends, so many listeners. Just incredible. We feel so
Disney people.
Yeah. We just feel so I don't know, grateful for
fortunate,
having this experience.
lucky.
And just being able to do this stuff, and then also being able to talk with you all and share it with you the best that we can. I will say we still have another full day in the park, and we're already over 500 plus photos in our joined album.
Yeah.
With photos and videos. So there will be lots of things that we'll be sharing on social media to share different images and different things and experiences that we got to do. Honestly, for me, the park stuff has been the cherry on top of all of the other amazing, incredible things. We got to cross off all sorts of things from our Disney bucket list that we
What's really fascinating is a lot of the stuff we've done this week has been in the morning, and so we've had all these evenings in the park. But because we have stuff in the morning, it's been a situation that we don't stay till close even.
Yeah.
We did last night almost accidentally because the park closed at 11 and we were here at 10:30.
10:30, 10:45, yeah.
Which is crazy. But yeah, it's been really great. It's really wonderful to feel like this is, since the pandemic, for me, this has felt the most back to Disney.
Yeah.
Because we have a parade in both
More
parks. We have fireworks. We have Fantasmic. We have the cavalcade, which isn't a full parade, but still. There's been entertainment that we've been able to see.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's crowds, of course, but like it just with things being updated, like the lighting and the attractions, and like it's just been so good to kind of feel like everything's like back.
Yeah. Agreed. And the thing that's crazy too is it's not even back in full force yet, because think of all the empty theaters that normally were having shows in the before times that still don't have shows. So it's just getting better and better.
Yeah. And it'll continue, and when we're here in July, we have even more to come. We have the final verse at It's a Small World. We have the waltz show that's going to be coming to the Opera House. So there's all these things that are still coming for the 70th. And there's stuff that we haven't experienced as a trip. You haven't heard us talk about a lot of attractions because we really haven't done a lot of attractions except for the ones we've talked about. However, Teresa still hasn't been on Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
No, we haven't, which is kind of crazy.
Planned for tomorrow. We'd probably do it tonight, but I didn't bring my flip-flops, and that's like a pro tip.
And now it's getting chilly.
It is kind of getting chilly. But it was warm today. It's been... The weather, just as a cap on this whole conversation, is the weather has been very warm during the day, but it's gotten fairly comfortable to a little chilly at night.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what you want.
I'm so excited for everyone to just continue listening so you can hear more of our adventures, because there has been some mind-blowing moments for us.
As Walt said, we're just getting started.
Yes. Which is crazy, because we've yabbered on for over an hour at this point, I'm sure. We haven't been timing, but
I think it's about an hour, but yeah.
Yeah, just
there's
incredible.
There's so much to come, and we're so excited to share it with you. And like Teresa said, we'll post some pictures probably of when we talk about those things.
When things
with
calm
the
down.
Episode. We'll also probably post some stuff on social media and all that. So you'll see, not just here, if you're interested, what we kind of experience. So there's more to come, and thank you guys for listening. And always, we like to talk about when we're in the park that we would not be able to be here nearly as much, for sure, without everybody's support and making this possible to kind of allow us to have these fun experiences. And some of these experiences are because of
100%
listeners. So thank you always for listening, even if you can't support us on Patreon or whatever.
But you are supporting us
you're
because
listening.
you're listening.
Yeah.
Exactly. You're listening, you're sharing. That is supporting us. You're stopping us and saying hi in the park.
Yeah,
that
please
really
do that.
Fuels us and really fills our cups to know that people are listening, people are enjoying, people are having this really fun experience with us through the podcast, with our community, all that. It's just absolutely, we were talking about this yesterday at the meetup. It's really hard to kind of put into words what this has become. And because we didn't expect any of this. None of what this is. This is a podcast. You don't think that you're going to meet your listeners and go hang out and
friends,
go on pirates and have them lose their hat with you while they're terrified riding pirates. But it's okay.
Shout out to a specific person for that one.
You know who you were, but you're never living that down. Or hey, let's all get together and do the meetup over at Tangaroa Terrace. Or hey, we're sitting and doing this, watching the parade. Come hang out with us while we watch the parade. So we love meeting you all and spending time with you all. Again, you guys really energize us. Obviously, we have the passion and love for the parks, but you guys really energize us to keep moving forward with the podcast and content. I
want to point out a couple things. At the meetup, we had quite a few new people that we've never met before, so that was great. You all know who you are, too. There was actually somebody who came who's been a supporter for a really long time. He was very surprised that I remembered his name because I look at who the supporters are, and he came and he said that he's listened to some other Disney stuff and he's done some things, and he said that what we have that nobody else has is this community, and that is 100% what everything what Teresa was just saying, 100% true, and that is something that will outlive this podcast forever, basically, is the friendships that were created and the people that were brought together
and the memories
made, all of that stuff. In fact, one family that showed up to the meetup, their family knows the family of another person who was also at the meetup because they lived in the same area. It's just craziness.
A small Disney world.
Also, again, we're trying to not call any specific people out, but you'll know who you are. There were a couple people who were at the meetup that helped us greatly when we were busy talking to people that were getting name tags for people and all that stuff.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, so you know who you are. Thank you guys so much for doing that. It was really appreciated because sometimes when we do the meetups, we have Vern and James who are very good at doing that. But when it's just the two of us, it's hard to get around to people.
Yeah.
So if we missed you or whatever, we're sorry. But I think we tried to get to everybody.
Yeah.
So, but it was really awesome.
It was really special. We were so distracted at the meetup that we forgot to get a group picture. So we did make sure to get pictures on everyone's own personal devices. But
if you have one, send it in.
Yeah, we totally forgot to do a group photo.
If you took a photo with us, please send it on Instagram or email it to us.
I really think in the future, to help maybe remember and to keep ourselves honest, we need to just set a time. Our meetup is from this time to this time, and the group photos at that time.
Sure, but sometimes you got people that are busy and doing stuff, so I want to include as many people.
Know.
But anyway, we're gonna cut it.
Look at Pluto.
Pluto's right here too. We're gonna
put on a little show.
We're gonna end here. Tune in the future because we're gonna talk about all the other fun stuff we did. But that's basically our park stuff. That's like the run-of-the-mill park stuff, if you can call it that. Well, we'll be back next week with more Disneyland news and information.
Until then, we're going to go out and enjoy the parks.
And hopefully you will too.
Thank you, Sidell.
Please remain seated until the podcast comes to a complete stop and the doors have opened. Then collect your belongings, watch your head, and step carefully from the episode. On behalf of all of our crew, thanks for traveling with us, and we hope you have a happy and memorable visit here at DL Weekly.